Benvenuti! Welcome to Italian for Beginners, Lesson 1, Course 1. I'm your Italian teacher Claudia, and I'm really looking forward to starting this journey with you. So, without further hesitation, let's get started. Today's lesson is all about greetings, saluti in Italian. Saluti. Perfect. Because greetings are very important and they're probably the very first thing you're going to use when speaking in Italian. Okay, so the first greeting we're going to learn together is hello. Hello in Italian is ciao. You've probably heard this word before. Ciao. Perfect. And then, how to introduce yourself. In Italian, as in English, there are two ways to introduce yourself. The first one, and the most common one in Italian, is with the use of the verb to be, as in English. For example, I am Claudia. Sono Claudia. Sono Claudia. Perfect. So, sono corresponds to am. And as you might notice, in Italian, we don't use subjects that much. You could have said, io sono Claudia, so I am Claudia, but the subject pronoun I is not really needed, so we don't use it, okay? The second way to introduce yourself is, my name is Claudia, and that in Italian is, mi chiamo Claudia. Repeat right after me, please. Mi chiamo Claudia. And that literally means I call myself Claudia. So my name is Claudia. Okay? Great. Then, if you want to ask the other person the same question, you can say, what is your name? And that in Italian is come ti chiami? Come ti chiami? Perfect. And that literally means how do you call yourself? So what is your name? Okay? Great. Perfect. And then, after introducing to one another, you're going to say nice to meet you. Nice to meet you in Italian is piacere di conoscerti. That's long, I know. Piacere di conoscerti. Perfect. Or you can just say piacere. It's the same. Perfect. So let's do our first exercise. During our lessons, we're going to do a lot of exercises, and this is the first one of them. So we have a mini dialogue, and the sentences you see are the ones that I'm going to read. So what you have to do is to reply to those sentences. So I will start reading them, and I will leave you a few seconds to reply. If you need more time, just pause the video, take your time, and then start again. Okay? Let's do it. Ciao! Come ti chiami? Mi chiamo Claudia. Piacere. Great. How did you do? Did your sentences look like these ones? If yes, great job. If not, don't worry about it. I mean, you can try this exercise one more time. Okay? There is no rush. So let's move on with other greetings. The first one is good morning. Buongiorno. Buongiorno. Perfect. Then we have the afternoon. Good afternoon is buon pomeriggio. Buon pomeriggio. Perfect. Good evening is buonasera. Buonasera. Perfect. And finally, good night is buonanotte. Buonanotte. Great. Awesome. Okay, then how about you want to ask someone, how are you? So in Italian, there are two ways to ask these questions. The first one is come stai? Come stai? And that literally means how do you stay? Yes, we use the verb to stay instead of the verb to be. I know it might sound weird, but that's how it is. Come stai? Perfect. The second option is come va? Come va? And that literally means how is it going? Okay? Perfect. And you can use both. So you have two questions, and you have two answers as well. The first way to say, for example, I am well is sto bene. Sto bene. And that literally means I stay well, because as you remember, we said that we use the verb to stay. Or if you want to answer to both come stai or come va, you can also say tutto bene or va tutto bene. Tutto bene, va tutto bene. It is going well, okay? And if you want to say I am very well, what you have to do is just to add molto. Sto molto bene, for example. Va tutto molto bene. Okay? Perfect. Then, if you want to ask and you, so to know how is the other person, once again, you have two options. The first one is e tu? E tu? And the second one is e lei? E lei? So both these questions mean and you. But what is the difference then? In Italian, actually, there is a very important difference. So tu corresponds to the subject pronoun you, while lei corresponds to the subject pronoun she. Okay? So, and in Italian, we use she when talking, for example, to someone that we don't know, someone that we respect, someone that is older than us, or someone that is in a higher position than us. So, for example, if you're talking to your friends, you're going to use the subject pronoun tu. If you're talking, for example, to one of your professors, you're going to use the subject pronoun she. Okay? Is it clear? Perfect. So let's do another mini dialogue. The structure is still the same. So the sentences you see are the ones that I'm going to read, and we'll make a few pauses to leave you enough time to reply. Okay? Ready? Let's do it. Ciao, buonasera. Come stai? Sto molto bene, grazie. So, how did you do? Did your sentences look like these ones? If yes, great job. If not, try this exercise one more time. Learning languages is all about practice. Okay? Perfect. So let's move on. How to say goodbye in Italian? Once again, there are two options. The first one is the one that we have already seen. Ciao. So you can use ciao as hello and goodbye. And the other option is arrivederci. Arrivederci. What is the difference then? Ciao is a little bit more friendly, while arrivederci is a little bit more formal. For example, if you're leaving your group of friends to go back home, you're going to say ciao. If you're leaving a restaurant, you're going to say arrivederci. Is it clear? Perfect. Then, see you later is a dopo. A dopo. Perfect. And see you soon is a presto. A presto. Perfect. Very good. So one last exercise. Once again, I will start reading the sentences and you will have to reply. Okay? Let's do it. Ciao. Mi chiamo Claudia. Piacere di conoscerti. Sto molto bene. E tu? A presto. How did you do? Did your sentences look like these ones? If yes, great job. If you made some mistakes, there is no problem. Just try to complete this mini dialogue one more time. Okay? Very good. So before ending our first lesson, let's review all the vocabulary we have learned. As usual, please repeat right after me. Ciao. Sono Claudia, mi chiamo Claudia. Come ti chiami? Piacere di conoscerti. Buongiorno. Buon pomeriggio. Buonasera. Buonanotte. Come stai? Come va? Sto molto bene, va tutto bene. E tu? E lei? Arrivederci. A dopo. A presto. Perfect. Great. So we have just finished our first Italian lesson and I'm really proud of your progress. So complimenti, congratulations. I'm really looking forward to seeing you here again for our second lesson together. Have a great day and thank you for being with me. Ciao. Benvenuti. Welcome to Italian for Beginners. Lesson 2, Course 1. I'm your Italian teacher Claudia and I'm very happy to virtually see you here again with me today. So, without further hesitation, let's start our second lesson. So, first of all, let's review all the vocabulary we have learned during the first lesson. As usual, please repeat right after me. Ciao. Sono Claudia, mi chiamo Claudia. Come ti chiami? Piacere di conoscerti. Buongiorno. Buon pomeriggio. Buonasera. Buonanotte. Come stai? Come va? Sto molto bene, va tutto bene. E tu? E lei? Arrivederci. A dopo. A presto. Perfect. Did you remember them all? So, today's lesson is all about manners. Buone maniere in Italian. Buone maniere. So let's start with please. Please in Italian is per favore. Per favore. And as in English, you can use it both at the beginning of the sentence and at the end. Okay? It doesn't really matter. The important thing is to say it. Then, how to say thank you. Thank you is grazie. Grazie. So you really need to pronounce the last letter, I in English, but the letter I in Italian is E. We're going to see it better when we're going to do the alphabet. For the moment, the very important thing is to say grazie and not grazie. Okay? Perfect. Then, if you want to say grazie mille, Grazie mille is thank you very much. Grazie mille. And that literally means thank you 1,000 times. Apparently they're never enough, okay? Perfect. Very good. Then you can say you're welcome. You're welcome in Italian is prego. Prego. Perfect. Very good. And how about if you want to apologize? So as usual, there are two options. The first one is I am sorry, and that corresponds to mi dispiace. Mi dispiace. Perfect. And the other one is excuse me. But you have two ways to say excuse me. The first one is scusa. Scusa. And the other one is scusi. Scusi. What is the difference then? Do you remember in last lesson we actually saw it? So in Italian we have a more friendly way and and one that is a little bit more formal. So basically, scusa is friendly. So you're gonna apologize with scusa to your family and to your friends, for example. Scusi is more formal. So you are going to use it to apologize with people that you don't know, or with people that are older than you, or that are in a higher position than you. For example, your boss. Okay? So what is the difference between mi dispiace and scusa or scusi? So you use mi dispiace when regretting something that happened before. Scusa or scusi are used when you apologize for small things or also for more important things, okay? Let's try some exercise. So here you have a situation, and what you will have to do is to decide whether to use mi dispiace or scusa or scusi, okay? Are you ready? So I will read the context. So you are walking in a store and accidentally nudge someone as you pass by. What do you say? Yes, you say scusi. You use scusi because you don't know the person that you actually nudged. Okay? Is it clear? Perfect. Let's try another situation. So you're sitting in a restaurant and want some more water. So you call over the waiter, and what do you say? Yes, you say, once again, scusi, because you don't know the waiter. And to be polite, you are going to use the more formal way. Okay? Perfect. Let's try another one. So you're having a conversation with someone and you want to interject. What do you say? Yes, you say scusa, assuming that you know pretty well the person you're having a conversation with. For example, a friend. For example, your parents. I don't know. Perfect. Then let's do one last context. So you're hungry and you eat your roommate's last homemade cookie, but you didn't know that she was saving it. So what do you say? Yes, you're saying mi dispiace because you're regretting that you ate that cookie. Okay? Very good. Perfect. So talking about food, let's add a few words, okay, concerning food, in this case more about beverages. So when learning like Italian words, you always need to learn them with the article, because that's how you will know if the word is masculine or feminine. And that's very important. And we're gonna see why. Okay, for the moment, just learn the words with the article. Okay, so coffee is il caffè. And il is a masculine article. Okay, so caffè is a masculine word too. Il caffè. And there is an accent at the end. Okay, very good. The water. The water in Italian is l'acqua. L'acqua. So you have CQU, okay? And acqua is a feminine word, so its article would be la. But since we have actually two A's, one right next to the other, la acqua, what you do is actually you eliminate the first A, the A of the article, and you put an apostrophe. So l'acqua. Perfect. Then we have the beer, la birra, la birra. And once again, birra is feminine and la is a feminine article. Okay? Perfect. So for example, if you're in a restaurant and you want to ask the waiter to bring you, I don't know, some water, how can you ask, can you bring me? That question in Italian is può portarmi? For example, può portarmi l'acqua? Can you bring me some water? Perfect. And once again, we are using a formal way. Okay? Può portarmi? Very good. Perfect. So before ending our second lesson, let's review all the words we have learned today. So let's start with per favore. Repeat right after me, please. Grazie mille. Scusa, scusi. Mi dispiace. Acqua. Caffè. Birra. Mi può portare? Perfect. Very good. So, complimenti. Congratulations. You have just finished your second Italian lesson. And I'm very proud of your progress. I'm really looking forward to seeing you here again for our third lesson. And have a great day. Grazie. Ciao. Benvenuti. Welcome to Italian for Beginners, Lesson 3, Curse 1. I'm Claudia, your Italian teacher, and I'm looking forward to starting this new lesson with you today. Before starting, let's review all the vocabulary we have seen in last lesson, in Lesson 2. Okay, as usual, please repeat right after me. Per favore. Grazie mille. Scusa, scusi. Mi dispiace. Do you remember the difference between mi dispiace and scusa? If not, return to the previous lesson. Please. Acqua. Caffè. Birra. Mi può portare? Perfect. Great. So today's lesson is all about numbers. I numeri in Italian. Numeri. Okay? Ready to start? So let's start with number 1. 1 is uno. Uno. Perfect. Then we have due. Due. Tre. Tre. Quattro. Quattro. Cinque. Cinque. Perfect. Sei. Sei. Sette. So you have a double T here. Sette. Otto. Otto. Great. Nove. Nove. And finally, 10. 10. So you really pronounce all the letters. 10. Okay? Great. So let's move on. Then we have 11. 11. 12 is 12. 12. 13 is 13. 13. 14. 14. Okay? Perfect. 15. 15. Perfect. 16. 16. Great. 17 is 17. Lots of doubles here. 17. Perfect. Then we have 18. 18. Perfect. 19. 19. And finally, 20. 20. As in most languages, the hardest part when it comes to numbers is from 1 to 20. Then it becomes pretty automatic. Let's see it. 21, 21. Literally, it is 21. 21, 21. It becomes even more regular then. 22, 22. Okay? Does that make sense? 22. Then 23, 23. Easy, isn't it? 24, 24. 25, 25. 25. 26, 26. 27, 27. So you see, like it's pretty automatic. 27, 28, 28, 29, 29, and finally 30. Okay? So here we have all others examples, but as I told you before, it is pretty automatic. So for example, 30 is 30. So 31, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 40. And it's always the same thing. So 41, 42, 46 is, for example, 46, and so on. 50 is 50. So 51, 52, 59, for example, is 59. Okay, is it clear? 60 is 60. For example, 65, 65. 67, 67. Okay? 70 is 70. So 71, 72, 73, 74, and so on. 80 is 80. 81, 82, 89 is 89. Okay? 90 is 90. 90. 94, 94. 98, 98. Okay? It's always automatic. One exercise that you can do is to take like random numbers in English and try to translate them into Italian. Okay? 99 then is 99. And after 99, we have 100. 100. 100. Is it clear? Perfect. Very good. So, to review all the numbers, what you can do is just go back to the beginning of this lesson and practice again. As I told you before, writing some numbers in English and try to translate them or say out loud in Italian is a very good exercise to learn them. Okay? So, very good work. I know numbers can be tricky at the beginning, but with practice, you're gonna learn them. I'm really confident about it. So, complimenti, congratulations. You have just finished your third Italian lesson. and I'm really proud of the work that you're doing. So have a great day, and thank you for being with me one more time. Ciao, grazie. Benvenuti. Welcome to Italian for Beginners, Lesson 4, Course 1. I'm Claudia, your Italian teacher, and I'm very happy to virtually see you here again with me today. So, before getting started, maybe you would like to review all the numbers we have learned in Lesson 3. To do so, please return to the previous lesson and practice one more time. Okay? Perfect. Today's lesson is all about colors. Colori in Italian. Colori. Perfect. So let's start with blue. That's easy. Blue in Italian is blu. Blu. Perfect. Then we have red. Red can be either rosso and rossa. Rosso, rossa. What is the difference then? Rosso needs to be used with masculine words, and rossa needs to be used with feminine words. That's why learning if the word is masculine or feminine is very important, because the adjective needs to match it. Okay, so if you have a masculine word, you need to use the masculine version, if there is one, of the article. If we return to blue, for example, you see that there is only one option, because you use blue, like that, both for masculine and feminine words. With red, you have the two possibilities. Okay, is it clear? Perfect. Then we have yellow. Once again, we have the masculine version, giallo, giallo. Perfect. And the feminine one, gialla, gialla. Great. Then we have green. Green is always verde. Verde. So you use verde both for masculine and feminine words. Then we have brown. Brown is always marrone. Marrone. Great. Purple is viola. Viola. Not viola, but viola. Okay? Perfect. Then we have pink. Pink is rosa. To be used with both masculine and feminine words. Rosa. Perfect. Then we have black. Black is nero for masculine words, or nera for feminine words. Nero, nera. Okay? Great. Then we have white. White is either bianco, bianco, or bianca, bianca. Awesome. Perfect. Then we have gray. Once again, two possibilities. Grigio for masculine words, grigio, and grigia for feminine ones. Grigia. Perfect. Awesome. Then we have orange. Orange is always arancione. Arancione. Perfect. So let's do one small exercise. So you see here you have many colors. What you will have to do is to say out loud, or to write, if you prefer to, the corresponding color in Italian. Okay? So what I suggest you to do is to pause the video, say out loud the colors or write them down, and just start again with the video again. Okay? Because I'm going to reveal the solutions. Okay? Ready? Time to pause the video. And here are the solutions. So how did you do? I'm going to read all the colors, okay? One more time. Blu, rosso, giallo, verde, marrone, viola, rosa, nero, bianco, grigio, and finally arancione. So how did you do? Did you make any mistakes? If yes, try this exercise one more time, okay? Great. So let's practice a little bit with words too, okay? So common words, for example, the table. Il tavolo. Il tavolo. Now you know why articles are so important in Italian. Il is a masculine article. Tavolo is a masculine word. So for example, if you need to use an adjective, you have to match it, so it needs to be masculine. If there is if there is the option to have the masculine form of the adjective. Okay? The chair, la sedia. La sedia. Sedia and la are feminine words. Okay? The bag, la borsa. La borsa. Perfect. Feminine words as well. The book, il libro. Il libro. Il, masculine article for a masculine word. The mirror, lo specchio. Lo specchio. So pay attention. In Italian, when you have CHI, the sound is always K. It's never CH. Okay? Lo specchio. Great. The pen, la penna. La, feminine article for a feminine word. Then, how to say for example, a pen? Well, in Italian, that's complicated because we have 4 options. So basically, the most common ones are un, masculine, una, feminine, una penna, for example, un tavolo. But there are also less common options. The first one is uno. So uno is for masculine words, but just the masculine words, for example, that begins with S plus a consonant, uno specchio, as we have seen before, or you can use uno in front of words that begin with PN or PS or PT, or that begins with X. It's just a few words, actually. And un, with an apostrophe, is the feminine a that you use in front of feminine words that begins with a vocal. Okay? So that's it. The most common ones, un, una, un with an apostrophe in front of feminine words that begin with a vocal, uno, masculine article for words that begin with S plus a consonant, PN, PS, PT, X. Okay? That comes with practice. Now it seems complicated. I know it. So let's do an exercise. What you will have to do here is to match the color to the word. Okay? So I will start reading the words in Italian and I'll leave you a few seconds to say out loud the color. Okay? Ready? Let's start. Il libro. As usual, if you need more time, just pause the video. Okay? Il tavolo. Una penna. Una borsa. Lo specchio. La sedia. Great. So how did you do it? Did the colors you wrote were these ones. So, il libro rosso, because libro is masculine, so you need to pick the masculine adjective, rosso. Il tavolo nero, same thing. Nero matches with the masculine word tavolo. Una penna rosa. Rosa never changes. Una borsa gialla. Borsa is a feminine word, so you need to pick gialla instead of giallo. Lo specchio blu. Blue never changes. And finally, la sedia verde. Verde never changes as well. Okay, is it clear? As usual, before ending our lesson, let's review all the vocabulary we have seen in this lesson. So, please write the words right after me. Blu, rosso rossa, giallo gialla, verde, marrone, viola, rosa, nero nera, bianco bianca, grigio grigia, arancione. And this is everything for the colors. Let's move to the objects. Il tavolo, la sedia, la borsa, il libro, lo specchio, la penna. Great, perfect. So, complimenti, congratulations, you have just finished your 4th Italian lesson, and I'm very proud of your progress. I'm looking forward to starting lesson 5, and have a great day. Thank you for being with me. Ciao! Benvenuti! Welcome to Italian for Beginners, lesson 5, course 1. I'm Claudia, your Italian teacher, and I'm very happy to see you here again with me today. So, before starting lesson 5, let's review all the words we have learned in last lesson. That was mainly about colors, and also we have done a few objects as well. So, as usual, please repeat right after me. Blu, rosso rossa, giallo gialla, verde, marrone, viola, rosa, nero nera, bianco bianca, grigio grigia, arancione, il tavolo, la sedia, la borsa, il libro, lo specchio, la penna. Okay, great. So, today's lesson is about a very important thing of Italian culture, the food. Il cibo. Il cibo. Great, perfect. So, let's start with the food. First of all, the bread. Il pane. Il pane. So the article for pane is il, and it's a masculine article, okay? Then we have the rice, il riso. Il riso. So it's a masculine word as well. Then we have the egg, l'uovo. L'uovo. So the article for uovo is the masculine lo. But since it begins with a vocal, then you delete the O and you put an apostrophe. L'uovo. Okay? Perfect. Then we have the meat, la carne. La carne. And that's a feminine word. Okay? Then we have the pork, il maiale. Il maiale. So masculine. The chicken, il pollo. Il pollo. Another masculine word. The beef, that's long. La carne di manzo. La carne di manzo. Okay, great. The fish, il pesce. Il pesce. Perfect. Then we have the vegetables, la verdura. La verdura. So it's a feminine word. Okay, great. The lettuce, la lattuga. La lattuga. Great. The onion, la cipolla. La cipolla. And it's a feminine word. The garlic, l'aglio. L'aglio. Here we have this combination of letter that for foreigners is always a little bit hard to pronounce, sorry. It's G-L-I, L. That's the sound, L. And then at the beginning it's a little bit complicated. Aglio is a masculine word. Then we have the pepper, il peperone. Il peperone. Perfect. The carrot, la carota. La carota. Awesome. The tomato, il pomodoro. Il pomodoro. Perfect. The fruit, la frutta. La frutta. So it's a feminine word, okay? So talking about fruits, the apple, la mela. La mela. Great. The banana, this is easy. So the only thing that changes is the pronunciation. The banana is la banana. So not banana, but banana. Perfect. Then we have the pineapple, l'ananas. It's a masculine word. L'ananas. Great. The strawberry, la fragola. La fragola. And it's a feminine word. The grape, l'uva. L'uva. And that's feminine as well. The article would have been is actually la, but since the word begins with a vocal, then you delete the A and you put an apostrophe. La uva becomes l'uva. Okay? Perfect. Then we have the drink. La bibita. La bibita. Perfect. Talking about beverages and drinks, the milk, il latte. Il latte. Perfect. Then we have the tea, il tè. Il tè. So never forget to put the accent, okay, over the E. The sugar, lo zucchero. Lo zucchero. Perfect. The honey, il miele. Il miele. Great. So, how to say I want? So, as usual, we have two options. Voglio, with that difficult sound, voglio, literally corresponds to I want. But it would be more polite to always use vorrei. Vorrei. That corresponds to the English I would like. Okay? Very good. Perfect. And then a last word, with. With, in Italian, is con. con. Perfect. Very good. So let's do a mini exercise. What you have to do here is to replace the red word in brackets with one of the foods we have done today and that belongs to that category. So you have, for example, vegetables, fruit, drink, sweetener. Okay? So I'll leave you a few seconds to complete the exercise, but you can just pause the video and do it on your own, take your time, and then resume the video when you're done. Okay? Let's start. So I'll show you like 2 examples of solutions. For example, first sentence, vorrei riso con pollo e lattuga. Vorrei riso con pollo e lattuga. Example of the second sentence, vorrei una mela e latte con miele. Vorrei una mela e latte con miele. Okay, so your sentences do not have to be exactly like mine, of course. What's important is that you use like the right words. Okay? You can try to use and to make other sentences like these ones in order to make more practice with the words belonging to the food category. Okay? So, before ending this lesson, let's review all the new vocabulary. As usual, please repeat right after me. Il cibo, il pane, il riso, l'uovo, la carne, il pollo, il maiale, la carne di manzo, il pesce, la verdura, la lattuga, la cipolla, l'aglio, il peperone, il pomodoro, la frutta, la mela, la banana, l'ananas, la fragola, l'uva, la bibita, il latte, il tè, lo zucchero, il miele, voglio, vorrei, do you remember the difference? And finally, con. Great, awesome, great job. So complimenti, congratulations, you have just finished your 5th Italian lesson. We have still a long journey ahead and I can't wait to continue it with you. So have a great day and thank you for being with me today. Ciao! Benvenuti! Welcome to Italian for Beginners, Lesson 6, Curse 1. I'm your Italian teacher Claudia and I'm very happy to start this new lesson with you today. So before getting started, let's review all the vocabulary of last lesson. Okay? As usual, please repeat right after me. Il cibo, il pane, il riso, l'uovo, la carne, il pollo, il maiale, la carne di manzo, il pesce, la verdura, la lattuga, la cipolla, l'aglio, il peperone, la carota, il pomodoro, la frutta, la mela, la banana, l'ananas, la fragola, l'uva, la bibita, il latte, il tè, lo zucchero, il miele, voglio, vorrei. Do you remember the difference? Con. Great. Perfect. Today's lesson is about the alphabet. L'alfabeto. L'alfabeto. A in Italian is A. A. So when you see an A in an Italian word, you always pronounce it as A. No exceptions. B, that's easy. B in Italian as well. C. So not C, but C. D, same. And this is the second trickiest one. Letter E in Italian is E. And that's super important. Every time you see letter E, that's E in Italian. Okay? Perfect. Then we have letter F, 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 G. H is H, H. So do you remember that letter E in Italian is E? Well, letter I in English is letter I in Italian. So E is E in Italian and I in Italian is I. Okay, that's very difficult. I know, at the beginning it's confusing, it's totally normal. Then we have J in Italian as well, but it's a letter that is not really used. Besides from jeans, we don't have many other words that begins or that has a J, okay? K, K, L, L, M is M, M, N, N, O, O. Okay, great. P, P. Q, Q. So you see, like, some letters are pretty similar to the English ones. Sometimes it's just a matter of pronunciation. R, R. S is S, S. T is T, T. U is U, U. V is V, V. Perfect. W is doppia V. If you think about it, that makes sense. This is V. This is doppia V. Okay? That literally means double V in this case. X, X. Great. Y. This is pretty different. Y. Great. Z, Z. Perfect. Awesome. So as I anticipated, that's very important because some letters as A are always pronounced as they look and they sound in the alphabet. So letter A is always pronounced as A. Letter E is always pronounced as E in Italian. Letter I is always pronounced I in Italian. Okay? Perfect. As an exercise, for example, you can try to spell your name. Okay? Perfect. So let's review all these letters all together, but a little bit faster. As usual, please repeat the letters right after me, please. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. So for example, if I have to spell my name, I would say C, L, A, U, D, I, A. Here it is. You can do the same. You can try with your name, with your parents' name, with your friends' names, with names of the objects, whatever you want. With the alphabet, it's really a matter of practice. Okay? So I'll leave you to your practice, and I'm going to say your complimenti. Congratulations. So you have just finished your 6th Italian lesson, and I'm very proud of your progress. So see you here for the next lesson, and thank you for being with me. Ciao. Benvenuti. Welcome to Italian for Beginners. Lesson 7, Curse 1. I'm Claudia, your Italian teacher, and I'm very happy to see you here again today. So, before getting started, let's review the letters of the alphabet that we have seen last lesson. Okay, as usual, please repeat right after me. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Perfect. Very good. So today's lesson is about animals. Gli animali. Gli animali. So we have never seen gli before. That's an article as well. It's plural and it's actually masculine. So it's used with masculine and plural words. Okay? So let's start with the cat. Il gatto. Il gatto. Il, masculine article for a masculine word. The dog. Il cane. Il cane. Perfect. The bird. L'uccello. L'uccello. So here, once again, the article is lo. But as the word starts with a vocal, you delete the O and you put an apostrophe. L'uccello. So it's a masculine word. Okay? The elephant. L'elefante. L'elefante. And here we have the same situation. So the L with an apostrophe, that was for lo. Then we have the lion. Il leone. Il leone. Perfect. The bear. L'orso. L'orso. Very good. The horse. Il cavallo. Il cavallo. Perfect. The tiger. La tigre. So it's a feminine word. La tigre. Very good. The bull. Il toro. Il toro. Perfect. The turtle. La tartaruga. That's a long word. La tartaruga. Perfect. Then we have the pig. Il maiale. Il maiale. You see, as we have seen with the alphabet, the letter I is pronounced as I, maia, and then the letter E at the end is always pronounced as E in Italian. Il maiale. Okay? Perfect. The cow, la mucca. La mucca. Perfect. Then we have the sheep, la pecora. La pecora. Very good. The duck, la papera. La papera. Perfect. And then let's add a few words. For example, to run, correre. Correre. To walk is camminare. We're gonna do the verb in details in the next lessons, okay? Camminare is to walk. Then, to jump, saltare. Saltare. Perfect. And let's add just a couple of adverbs. You're gonna see where we're going to. Fast is velocemente. Velocemente. And that's the adverb, okay? If you're looking for the adjective, that would be veloce. It's a fast car. È una macchina veloce. The car runs fast. La macchina corre velocemente. Okay? And slowly. Slowly is lentamente. Lentamente. Perfect. So let's do a small exercise. As you see here, you have some sentences with a few blank spaces. What you have to do is to add in the first blank space the name of the animal and then the following like adverb among the ones that we have done today. Okay? Just pause the video, take your time to complete the exercise and then resume it, okay? Because I'm going to reveal some possible solutions. Okay, time to do the exercise. Okay, so how did you do it? Was it easy? So here are some examples. La tartaruga cammina lentamente, for example. The turtle walks slowly. Second sentence, il cane corre velocemente. The dog runs fast. Okay? And then the last one, il gatto salta. The cat jumps. Okay, how was it? Try to do like some of these kinds of sentences with other animals and with the same adverbs. Okay? Perfect. So let's review all the vocabulary we have seen today. As usual, please repeat right after me. Gli animali. Il gatto. Il cane. L'uccello. L'elefante. Il leone. L'orso. Il cavallo. La tigre. Il toro. La tartaruga. Il maiale. La mucca. La pecora. La papera. The verbs. Correre. Camminare. Saltare. And finally the adverbs. Velocemente. And its opposite. Lentamente. Okay, so how was this lesson? Was it easy or was it a little bit more difficult? In either case, complimenti. Congratulations. You have just finished your 7th Italian lesson. And I'm very proud of your progress. I'm looking forward to continuing this journey with you. Have a great day. Grazie. Ciao. Benvenuti. Welcome to Italian for Beginners. Lesson 8, Curse 1. I'm your Italian teacher Claudia, and I'm very happy to start this new lesson with you today. So before starting, let's review all the names of the animals that we have seen in lesson 7. As usual, please repeat right after me. Gli animali. Il gatto, il cane, l'uccello, l'elefante, il leone, l'orso, il cavallo, la tigre, il toro, la tartaruga, il maiale, la mucca, la pecora, la papera, correre, camminare, saltare, velocemente, lentamente. Okay, great. Did you remember all of these words? So today's lesson is about the verbs. The time has come to start with the verbs, okay? First of all, let's learn some new and old verbs. For example, we have already seen to walk. Camminare. Camminare. Perfect. To jump, we already know it. Saltare. Saltare. Perfect. This is new. To do exercise. Fare esercizio. Fare esercizio. Perfect. To swim. Nuotare. Nuotare. Perfect. To dance. Ballare. Ballare. Perfect. To play. Giocare. Giocare. Awesome. To sweat. Sudare. Sudare. Perfect. Very good. Then, andare in bicicletta. That's to ride a bike. Andare in bicicletta. And that literally means to go on a bike. Okay? And bicicletta is bike, but you can also say bici. It's shorter and it works. Bici. Andare in bici. It's okay. Perfect. To run, correre. We have already seen this verb in lesson 7. Correre. Perfect. And to open, aprire. Aprire. Perfect. Very good. Then how to say I like or I don't like? I like in Italian is mi piace. For example, mi piace il latte. I like milk. Mi piace. I don't like is non mi piace. Non mi piace. So what you have to do is just to add non before mi piace. Okay? Perfect. Very good. For example, I don't like something very much, or I like something very much. I like milk very much. Mi piace molto il latte. Very much is molto. And this is a difference from the English language. You don't place very much at the end of the sentence, but just after the verb. Mi piace molto il latte. Okay? Perfect. If you have to say, I don't like something, in this case the milk, very much, you just need, as usual, to add non before the rest of the sentence. So, non mi piace molto il latte. Is it clear? Perfect. So, let's do a small exercise. Here, what you have to do is just to add a verb at the end of the sentence. Okay? That's all. One of the verbs we have done today, of course. So I will start within the sentences and I will leave you a few seconds to complete it. Okay? Let's start with the first one. Mi piace. Non mi piace. As usual, if you need more time, just pause the video, okay? And the third one, mi piace molto. Okay, great. So how was it? I'll show you a few examples. Mi piace camminare. I like walking. Non mi piace sudare. I don't like to sweat. Mi piace molto ballare. I like dancing very much. Okay? Great. Perfect. So let's move on. Today we're talking about conjugation. So what is the verb conjugation? Basically, it's the declination of the verb according to the subject pronoun. In practical terms, it's actually the verbs that you use while you're talking. I do, we make, they play. Here it is. So let's start from the beginning. In Italian, there are three kinds of verbs. First group, the verbs that end with are, A-R-E, okay? Second group is made of the verbs that end with ere, E-R-E in English. Third and final group, the verbs that end with ire, I-R-E in English, okay? And their conjugation is a little bit different. So let's start looking at the desinences of the verbs of the first group. So the verbs that end with are. To conjugate a verb, you need to take the verb root. So it's the part of the verb without the last part. The last part in Italian is are, ere, ire. So you take the first part of the verb and you simply attach the desinences. So you see here, for example, for I, io, the desinence is o. I'm pronouncing the desinences in Italian, okay? For you, tu, in Italian, the desinence is I. For lui, lei, he, she, the desinence is a. For we, noi, in Italian, the desinence is iamo. For you, voi, the desinence is ate. And finally, for they, essi, the desinence is ano. I know it seems complicated right now, but let's see some practical examples. For example, camminare. Camminare is a regular verb. So first of all, what you have to do is to take the verb root. So the part of the verb, in this case, without are. So the verb root is cammin. Okay? And then you just need to add the desinences. So repeat right after me. Io cammino. Tu cammini. Lui, lei cammina. Noi camminiamo. Voi camminate. Essi camminano. Which are the accent here? Camminano. Okay? And that's super regular. Okay? Let's do another example. Saltare, to jump, is regular as well. So the verb root is the part of the verb without are. So salt. And then you add the desinences. Io salto. Tu salti. Lui, lei salta. Noi saltiamo. Voi saltate. Essi saltano. Is it clear? Perfect. Very good. Then we have andare. Andare, as in English, is an irregular verb. So even though the verb root should be and, the first conjugation is io vado. So it's completely different. Okay? Io vado, tu vai, lui, lei va. Then it becomes a little bit regular. Noi andiamo, voi andate, essi vanno. So it becomes irregular once again. With these verbs, the only thing you can do is to learn them by heart, as in all languages. Fare, to do, is another irregular verb. Okay? So let's start its conjugation. Io faccio, tu fai, lui, lei fa, noi facciamo, voi fate, essi fanno. Is it clear? Perfect. So now let's see the second group. So the verbs that end with ere. Okay? As you might notice, there are some tiny differences for the desinences. Okay? For example, lui, lei, the desinence is now e in Italian. So e in English. Okay? And for example, you all, the desinence is ete. Or for they, the desinence is ono. Okay? Let's see a practical example. Correre. Correre is a regular verb. So you take the verb root, so cor, with double R, and you start the conjugation. Io corro, tu corri, lui, lei corre, noi corriamo, voi correte, essi corrono. Perfect. Very good. And then we have the final group, so the verbs that end with ire. Once again, here you can just find a very tiny difference for you all. The desinence is ite. Okay? Perfect. So let's do a practical example. Aprire, to open, a regular verb. So the verb root is apr. Okay? So the part of the verb without ire. Io apro, tu apri, lui, lei apre, noi apriamo, voi aprite, essi aprono. Perfect. Very good. That's how it is. So for the regular verb, it's pretty easy. For the irregular ones, the only thing you can do is literally like to learn them. Okay? Very good. So before ending this intense lesson, let's review all the verbs we have done today. As usual, please repeat right after me. Exercise, esercizio. We haven't specifically done this verb, but you always see it when we're doing some exercise, okay? As a title. Camminare, saltare, fare esercizio, to do exercise, nuotare, andare in bicicletta, or andare in bici, giocare, sudare, correre, aprire. Mi piace, non mi piace. Mi piace molto, non mi piace molto. Okay, great. Complimenti, congratulations. You have just finished this intense lesson 8. And I'm very proud of your progress. We're gonna keep on working on the verbs, so don't worry about that. Have a great day, and thank you for being with me. Ciao, a presto. Benvenuti. Welcome to Italian for Beginners, Lesson 9, Curse 1. I'm your Italian teacher, Claudia, and I'm looking forward to starting this new lesson with you today. So, before getting started, let's review all the verbs we have seen in lesson 8. Okay? As usual, please repeat right after me. Esercizio. Camminare. Saltare. Fare esercizio. Nuotare. Andare in bicicletta. Giocare. Sudare. Correre. Aprire. Mi piace, non mi piace. Mi piace molto, non mi piace molto. Great, perfect. So today we're keeping on doing some other verbs. We're gonna do the most important verbs, I verbi importanti in Italian. Okay? I know that it might seem a little bit boring when we're talking about verbs, but they are fundamental when speaking in a foreign language, as you already know. So let's start with the verb to be. Essere. Essere. Perfect. To have, avere. Avere. Great. To go, andare. We have already seen it. If you remember, andare in bicicletta. And plus, we have done its conjugation in lesson 8. To be able to, potere, or can. Potere. Perfect. To talk or speak, parlare. Parlare. Great. To see, vedere. Vedere. Perfect. So let's keep on with the conjugation of these verbs. Okay? Let's start with the verbs that end with are. So this table is a little bit a review of the desinences that you need to attach to the verb root. So do you remember them? O, I, a, iamo, ate, ano. For the verbs belonging to the first group. So the group that ends with are. Okay? First example, parlare, to speak or to talk. Parlare is a very regular verb. So, io parlo, tu parli, lui, lei parla, noi parliamo, voi parlate, essi parlano. Okay, so basically what you need to do is to take the verb root, so the part of the verb without are, and you attach the desinences, the endings. Okay, perfect. Then this is a small recap of the desinences for the verbs of the second group. So the verbs that end with ere. Okay, so do you remember the main differences concern he, she, you all, and they? Okay, let's do some examples. Essere. Essere, the verb to be, as in all languages, is always irregular. So what you have to do is to learn it by heart. You cannot escape from that. So, as usual, please repeat right after me. Io sono. Tu sei. Lui, lei è. Always remember the accent. Because if you don't put the accent, the letter becomes, this word becomes e. E means and in Italian. So that's why the accent is very important. Noi siamo. Voi siete. Essi sono. Okay, great, perfect. Avere. As usual, this one is irregular as well. So first of all, let's start with I. Io ho. O. And here it is very important for I, you, he, she, and they to put the H at the beginning. Okay, that is super important. Tu hai. So you don't really pronounce the H at the beginning. Lui, lei, ha. Noi abbiamo. So there is no H here, but you don't see the difference while talking. But when you see it written, then you see the difference. That's why you always have to remember to put it. The H. Abbiamo. Voi avete. There is no H here as well. And here, the H comes back. Essi hanno. Here as well is super important because if you have anno, if you write anno without the H, that means year. Okay? So always remember the H where it needs to be. Okay, awesome. Then we have potere, to can, to be able to, and this is irregular as well. So, let's see its conjugation. Io posso, tu puoi, lui, lei può, noi possiamo, voi potete, and this is the only regular form. Essi possono. Is it clear? Perfect. Very good. So then we have vedere. Vedere, luckily, is a regular verb that ends with ere. So you take the verb root, ved, and you attach the desinences. So, io vedo, tu vedi, lui, lei vede, noi vediamo, voi vedete, essi vedono. Is it clear? Perfect. Very good. So let's do a small exercise. Here what you have to do is just to translate the conjugation of the verb. So I am in Italian is. So I'm going to read them in English and I'm going to leave you a few seconds to translate them. Of course, as usual, if you need more time, just pause the video and then resume it when you're done. Okay? Let's do it. I am. He speaks. They can. You are. We go. She sees. I have. If you haven't finished this exercise, just pause the video and take your time, okay? Because I'm going to reveal the solutions in a bit. Okay, so let's see the solutions. As I mentioned at the beginning of our lessons together, in Italian we don't use subjects that much, so they're not necessary. If you want to add them in the translation as an exercise, it's really good, but while you're talking, they're not necessary, okay? So, I am, sono. He speaks, parla. They can, possono. You are, sei. We go, andiamo. She sees, vede. I have, ho. Please don't forget the H. Okay? Very good. So let's do another exercise. You have to do the very same thing. You just have to translate the verbs. Okay? I will start reading them in English. As I mentioned before, if you need more time, just pause the video, okay? And complete the exercise. They are. I speak. You can. We are. You'll go. I see. They have. If you haven't finished, just pause the video and take your time because I'm going to reveal the solutions. Okay? So, they are, sono. I speak, parlo. You can, puoi. We are, siamo. You'll go, andate. I see, vedo. They have, hanno. Don't forget the H. Okay? So how were this exercise? Did you make, any mistakes? If you did, no problem. Just try this exercise one more time. Okay? With the verbs, it's a matter of practice. The more you practice, the better your knowledge of the verbs will be. Okay? Very good. So before ending our lesson, let's review the new verbs we have done today. So, essere, avere, potere, parlare, vedere. Great. Perfect. Complimenti. Congratulations. You have just finished your new Italian lesson, the 9th one, and I'm very proud of your progress. So I'm looking forward to starting a new lesson with you and have a great day. Grazie. Ciao. Benvenuti. Welcome to Italian for Beginners, Lesson 10, Curse 1. I'm your Italian teacher Claudia and I'm very happy to see you here again with me today. So before getting started, let's review the new verbs we have seen in Lesson 9. As usual, please repeat right after me. So, essere, avere, potere, parlare, vedere. Okay? Perfect. Today, we're gonna do part 2 of the important verbs in Italian. And then we're gonna do their conjugation as well. So we're going to start with to know. To know in Italian is sapere. Sapere. Perfect. To know can be also conoscere. Conoscere. So what is the difference then? Conoscere is a knowledge that is a little bit more theoretical, while sapere is more practical. Okay? Great. Then we have to put mettere, mettere. Perfect. To say or to tell, dire, dire. Great. To want, volere. We have actually seen already a little bit of the conjugation of this verb. Do you remember the difference between io voglio and vorrei? That is the verb volere. To give, dare. Dare. Perfect. To eat, a very important verb is mangiare. Mangiare. Perfect. So, let's start with the conjugation. This table is a small recap of the desinences for the verbs of the first group. So, the verbs that end with are, in case you need to see them again. Okay? If you need like a few times to see them again, just pause the video. Okay? And take your time. We're going to do some practical examples. First of all, mangiare. Mangiare is regular. Okay, so there are no exceptions. So you see, the verb root is mangi. Okay, so the part of the verb without are. So let's say that it's conjugation. Io mangio, tu mangi, lui, lei mangia, Noi mangiamo. Voi mangiate. Essi mangiano. Okay? Watch out the accent here. Mangiano. Not mangiano, but mangiano. Okay? Perfect. Then we have dare, to give. Dare is irregular. Okay? Let's see its conjugation. Io do, like the note. Tu dai. Lui, lei dà. Watch out, there is an accent here. Dà. Noi diamo. Voi date. Essi danno. There is a double N here. Okay? Perfect. Very good. Then this is a recap for the verbs that end with ere. So the verbs of the second Italian group. Okay? If you need to see them again, just pause the video and resume it as soon as you're done. Example. Conoscere. To know. Conoscere is regular. So, io conosco. Tu conosci. Lui, lei conosce. Noi conosciamo. Voi conoscete. Essi conoscono. Okay? Perfect. Then we have the other to know. Sapere. And sapere is irregular. Okay? So, io so. Tu sai. Lui, lei sa. Noi sappiamo, with double P. Voi sapete, and this is the only regular form. Essi sanno. Okay? Perfect. Very good. Then we have mettere, to put. Mettere is regular. So you take the verb root, met, with double T, and you attach the endings. So, io metto, tu metti, lui, lei mette, noi mettiamo, voi mettete, essi mettono. Okay? Perfect. Then we have volere. We have already seen something about volere. Volere is irregular. So, io voglio, with that difficult sound, voglio. Tu vuoi. Lui, lei vuole. Noi vogliamo. Voi volete. Essi vogliono. Okay? Perfect. Then we have, if you remember, the verbs that end with ire. So this table is a recap about the desinences. Once again, if you need more time, just pause the video. Okay? Perfect. Dire. Dire is a verb belonging to the ire group, and it means to say, to tell. And it's irregular. So, io dico, tu dici, lui, lei dice, noi diciamo, voi dite, essi dicono. Okay? Perfect. So let's do a small exercise, un esercizio. Once again, as we have done in lesson 9, what you have to do is to translate the verbs into Italian. Okay? I'm quickly gonna read them in English so that you can have an overview, and then just pause the video to take your time to complete the exercise. Okay? I know. He says. They want. You know. We eat. She gives. I put. Okay, so now it's time to do the exercise. Just pause the video and because I'm going to review the solutions now. So, I know, so. He says, dice. They want, vogliono. You know, conosci. We eat, mangiamo. She gives, dà. Did you remember the accent here? I put, metto. Great. Perfect. So let's do another exercise. Okay, that's the very same idea. So you just need to translate the verbs. Once again, I'm going to read them all first. They know. You'll say. I want. We know. You eat. I give. She puts. Perfect. Now time to pause the video and do the exercise. Okay? See you in a bit. So here's the solution. They know, sanno. You'll say, dite. I want, voglio. We know, conosciamo. You eat, mangi. I give, do. She puts, mette. Did you make any mistakes? If you did, just try this exercise one more time, okay? Or try to review the conjugation of the verbs. Perfect. Very good. So let's review the few new verbs we have done today. As usual, repeat right after me, please. Sapere, conoscere, mettere, dire, volere, dare, mangiare. Perfect. Great. So how was this lesson? Was it a little bit easier than the previous ones? In either case, complimenti. Congratulations. You have just finished your 10th Italian lesson. We are halfway in course 1. I'm really proud of your progress. Have a great day. Ciao.